Europeans in Taiwan is back for season 2 in 2024. This year, I'm going to continue my quest of interviewing representatives from all EU member states here in Taiwan, together with my good friend Momo. And for those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about, well, I don't actually have time to explain that in this video, because this weekend, May 4th and 5th, it is the European Festival in Huashan Creative Park, and this is not only the highlight of the entire year, especially if you're a European living here in Taiwan. The event is of course 100% free to attend if you just want to go there and take a look, and if you do go and collect the different stamps by visiting all the member states booths during the fair, you actually have the chance to win a round-trip ticket to Europe and then of course back home here to Taiwan again. And that is just one of many different reasons to come and visit the European Festival this weekend. But I highly recommend that you charge your line pay wallets and maybe your physical wallets as well, because there will be just tons of different kinds of delicious food, but also of course a donation booth with my good friends from Taiwan Stands with Ukraine. Hopefully people already know Alex or recognize him from last year, but before we get started here, who are you, Diana, and what are you doing here in Taiwan?
I'm a PhD student in Academia Sinica and also one of the volunteers of Taiwan Stands with Ukraine.
How long have you been in Taiwan?
Almost 2 years.
Almost 2 years?
Yeah, I came just 2 or 3 months after the war began, and thanks to Academia Sinica that reacted really fast and provided a good stipend for Ukrainian researchers, I came here to finish my master thesis and also applied for a PhD program.
So you came here because of like those programs from
Yes.
Taiwan government?
Yes, they did a great job. They applied to Taiwan government to give this opportunity for us because it was still quarantine time, and they organized everything so we could get our visa really fast, like just the next day after application. So thanks to this program, maybe at least 50 researchers with their families came and continued their research and their work.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Yeah, it was really impressive to see them react so quickly.
Yeah,
after everything began.
That's crazy. I often talk about Taiwanese related news in international media, including this program. But it's very rare that I actually get a follow-up and I see the actual result. But just the fact that you are here in Taiwan is a result of that, which is absolutely amazing. And you're also part of the organization helping out with Taiwan Stands with Ukraine.
Yeah.
Just for those of you who, for some reason, have missed Taiwan Stands with Ukraine and our previous videos from last year, what is Taiwan Stands with Ukraine?
Taiwan Stands with Ukraine is a volunteer organization of Ukrainians, Taiwanese, and other international supporters here in Taiwan. And we are basically the hub of activity for supporting Ukraine here in Taiwan. Protests, festivals, marches, all kinds of fundraising, and just basically do what we can to help our country. And the European Festival was our biggest fundraising event last year, and obviously we're hoping will be this year again. And I remember last year we bought 2 ambulances.
Yeah, I was just my next question actually was, because if I remember correctly, then last year, thanks through the European Union office here in Taiwan and also the European Festival activities, we had 2 ambulances last time I checked in with you. Are we still collecting ambulances, or what are we doing? And if so, how many ambulances do we have?
The 2 last year were number 2 and number 3. And since then, we bought number 4 and number 5. And we did lots of other things as well. Nursing homes, we've helped orphanages, we've helped people who provide help to refugees in the cities where there isn't much help. From the festival this year, it's going to be all humanitarian and medical help, all going to smaller organizations in Ukraine that usually somebody in our community here has a connection with. Not only help, but they will know that this help is coming from Taiwan, from the Taiwanese people. Really important to us as Ukrainians living here that people in Ukraine know. All the way across the world, far away in Taiwan, there are plenty of people who feel for them and are willing to help.
During European Festival, it's not only donations, you're also selling items as well.
Oh, yeah.
What else can we see if we come to your booth during Europe Festival?
We have different cookies, cakes that represent our traditional Easter bread that we cook for Easter, of course.
Lots of souvenirs and handmade goods. They are a combination of things that come directly from Ukraine that people bring to us to sell. Like, for example, there are patches, necklaces, keychains. Then there are things that our volunteers here make on their own. For example, magnets, fridge magnets, or these just cute little keychains.
Is that like flowers in there?
Yeah,
Real flowers.
Yeah.
Real flowers?
Yeah, real flowers.
What?
And it's actually an example of something that happens all the time, and it's just incredible. People just come and say, we want to help somehow. And it's just so touching because people, they want to do something, and they do what they can. If they make something to sell, they make a Ukrainian version of it and bring it to us. And we hope we'll have something for everyone.
Do you still sell like the t-shirts?
Oh yes, and last but not least, these Taiwan Ukraine cat t-shirts.
Was it Pashanka, Patinka?
Pitrimka.
Pitrimka, yeah.
Pitrimka.
Close enough, I would say.
Support in Ukrainian. We have the Ukrainian cat and the Taiwanese cat wearing traditional Atayal attire, if I'm not mistaken.
Last year, there was this he could not have been more than 7 or 8 years old, who just came up with his own piggy bank, and he's I've collected money that I want to give away. And it was it was such a beautiful and just amazing moment that I just happened to see.
I still have that piggy bank at my house. I actually spent a long time getting out the money from it without breaking it, right? Because I couldn't bring myself to destroy it, and there was no way to get it out. I actually managed to extract one by one every coin, and there were even some banknotes in there, more than 2,000 NT. It was a very real amount of money, and for a 7-year-old,
That's crazy.
So, yeah. Just yesterday, we were standing in front of the Moscow office on the corner, and a van stopped. And these two fairly older Taiwanese ladies came out, and they just said, we wanted to come and support you. We must support Ukraine because it's a democracy. And then they threw some money into our box. And I could tell that it was 1,000 NT, which is a really large donation. We thanked them and they left. Then my friend who was with me looks in the box and says, oh my God, Alex, it's not 1,000 NT, it's a stack of thousands. And turns out they donated 10,000 NT to us.
Just jumping out from a van and just putting the money in.
Yeah. Just after seeing us on the street with our flags, they just felt compelled to make a donation like that. How can you not just tear up a little bit thinking about people who are willing to do that?
This is amazing to hear from Taiwan, because all over EU, they have of course also collected a lot of money and supporting this. And I think the latest number that I saw was that in total of EU has assisted with almost 98 billion euros, which is it's just such a unfathomable amount. And I also read that they have this new Ukraine facility where they will they have set up a 4-year plan to donate over 50 billion, with 4.5 billion already taking place, which will only go to financial aid system, the support system, the pension funds, and just keeping Ukraine running, the daily struggles of just my pension fund or my social security. Other than Taiwan Stands with Ukraine, what was your favorite thing about the European festival last year?
I didn't get to sample a lot of the foods because I was busy. I was standing there waving the flag.
I was just going to say, it's hard to eat a hamburger when you have a flag in both hands.
Yes, but I saw some of the food booths that were serving traditional European fare, sausages, and they had lines that were non-stop lines for dozens and dozens of people. So I don't know, that was just really cool to see. I did not know what to expect, and I was really really pleasantly surprised to see so many Taiwanese so interested.
I so surprised how people here open to new culture, to new information, open also to foreigners. It's also actually not only about festival, how they are helpful. They always try to communicate with you, even if they don't know English good. They still try to communicate. They are not afraid of you, and the same you can see on the festival.
I just remember one thing. I just remembered there was some sort of you could get a stamp sheet and you could get a stamp for visiting the booth, and of course people were all over that, and you could see so many people hunting for those stamps and trying to collect them all. That was something that I always I was chuckling a little bit because they were very dedicated.
Speaking about plane tickets to Europe, other than Ukraine, if you would win a free round-trip ticket to any country in Europe, where would you go?
For me, it possibly some northern countries.
Like Sweden?
Yeah, like Sweden or Netherlands.
Netherlands is not a northern country.
It's northern for us. Like we're still in the south a little bit.
Northern-ish.
Shame.
Yeah,
Shame.
Yeah. It's also United Kingdom. It's not in EU. I know.
Yeah, sensitive topic.
Come back, Britain.
Yeah.
I think Czechia.
Czechia.
Yeah, because I've never been, and Czechia occupies this unique place between Western Europe and Eastern Europe, and I think really has a little bit of the mentality that bridges the gap very well, and by all accounts also just a beautiful country, and has lots of Ukrainians there as well, so very welcoming.
Now, as we're recording this video, April in 2024, how is the situation looking now in Ukraine? And has there been any big changes since like last year when we last time sat here?
I think unfortunately some of the biggest changes have been just the number of attacks on civilians that are happening. You know, Russia is just continuing to relentlessly attack for really not that much gain. It's still unfathomable to us that somebody would try to do that, right? Simply because they just want to get a little bit of territory, right? And wasting the lives of, thousands of our citizens and their own. So that just has been a constant thing in our lives, reading about terrible things happening there. But, Ukraine has to keep fighting. The support from the world is there. Support from Europe is there. Support from the US, I think, is coming.
Last year, during the European festival specifically, there was a goal to then donate the ambulance. And we said we now have in total 5 ambulances and lots of other kind of humanitarian aid as well. Is there like a specific goal set for the European festival, or what are we like collecting to like next?
I think this year it's going to be a higher goal and probably a little bit more diverse. There is a project for a nursing home in the city of Kharkiv, which happens to be my hometown. There's a private nursing home run by a volunteer organization helping elderly people who maybe have lost their houses or have no one else to rely on. Orphanages and organizations that work with kids that we can do some projects with. And so I think our goal this year is just going to be to raise as much money as we possibly can. And I think we're setting a goal for at least 500,000 at the festival in person, which I think is pretty modest. I think we can exceed that. And then we're also setting up a companion online fundraiser that people who can't come in person could donate to.
And of course you have all the links down in the description, but I should also add that even if you do use the link to donate online, you should still very much go to the European Festival if you can, so you can actually try and see all these amazing European food and also all these Ukrainian handicraft and bakeries, but then also make sure that you have enough time to collect these stamps so you can actually be in the raffle of winning return ticket back and forth to Europe and back home here to Taiwan again, and including plenty of different Mumu giveaways as well. Thank you all so much for watching. My name is Lukas. Starts with L as in like, ends with S as in subscribe. Please do both, and see you all this weekend.